I really enjoyed the movie, guys. I was going to begin. I was just wondering, this is for both of you. Would you buy a house if you heard a story like that? If you found out something sinister had taken place, even years before, are you superstitious like that, or would you just go ahead and purchase it anyway?
I mean, I would never. As someone that has moved a lot over the years, my first question is always, did someone die in this house? Because I'm very scared of ghosts. So I probably wouldn't. But I mean, I know a lot of people that stuff doesn't bother them.
Yeah, I too am rather superstitious, and yeah, I would want to know, and it would certainly factor in. In fact, like if I'm in an Airbnb or like crashing at a friend's house or in a hotel that I'm unfamiliar with, and I have like a nightmare or maybe like a creepy feeling in the middle of the night, I will often Google the address to be like, okay, has some like, and just like do a quick scroll to see like, is there any crime headline or murder headline or any kind of story from the past? And I've never come up with anything, thankfully, because I'd probably have to, check out or run out in the middle of the night. But I've definitely absolutely done that in the middle of the night in Airbnbs before.
Well, please, we got that one out of the way. Emma, I was going to ask you, I mean, there are obviously really supernatural elements to this, but it is dealing with sort of postnatal depression in many ways. I was wondering if you spoke to any women or did much research to help kind of inform and enrich that side of this performance.
I mean, I think to me, the relationship with Sara and her son, I think it's like she wants a connection with him so badly. And she has this new baby. And I think she's feeling the stress from that. And is like, obviously you can tell in the beginning of the movie, her life is like completely uprooted. She was a city girl. Now she's in the country. So I think to me, like, I kind of just focused more on like, on her wanting that relationship so badly with her son. And like, I have a son, obviously, and he was actually down there with me the whole time I was filming. So I just kind of wanted to make that like mother son, like love authentic. And, everything else obviously is heightened by the genre element, which is why I think we could explore it in that way. So yeah.
Yeah, because horror seems such a wonderful stomping ground to explore really nuanced and quite unique themes surrounding women. I mean, there's so much complexity in this in relation to the kind of maternal element. And it's a role we don't see maybe enough of outside horror. But why do you think this genre especially seems such a good fit to explore themes like this?
Well, I thought it was so interesting because really, like after you watch the movie, I mean, I think there's no right answer. Like, I think everyone's going to take away something different from it. And from like, as far as like women go, I think women that have children will obviously take something different away from it that women that don't. But what I like is that it's not like wrapped up in a bow and there's no one in the story that's like right or wrong when it comes to like John and I's characters. So I think that's what I like about it is there's like, a lot kind of laid on the table, but it's like ambiguous enough where I think people can really like take what they want to from it. And that's what I really liked about the ending of the script when I read it.
And John, I mean, how was it working so closely with a baby on this? Because they're unpredictable little things. I mean, how did that kind of affect the shoot? I mean, I suppose though the baby crying was in the script quite a lot. So I guess if it did randomly burst into tears, it wouldn't have been so out of place. But did it bring quite a nice kind of sense of unpredictability to the shoot?
Absolutely. Definitely. I mean, I'm totally blanking on who to attribute it to, but what's the famous quote? Some actor in Hollywood once said, "Don't work with animals or children," because it is completely unpredictable and you can plan out your day, within an inch of its life. But at the end of the day, you're working with an infant that it is going to do what it's going to do. And it keeps you on your toes and you have to be patient. But I just have to say, a really special shout out to Emma, because I think part of the irony of this film is that at the heart of the film, you have this mother in peril. But the fact of the matter is that like, not only was Emma incredible with our onset baby that was playing our child, but in between takes, Emma's rushing off to the green room to hang out with her own child. And she's an amazing mother. And I got to witness that up close. And it gave me a newfound respect for her performance, because it really is. She's switching gears all day long, and it was kind of amazing to watch. And I would have been in the weeds up to my neck without Emma dealing with the baby, because I don't have a ton of experience with children. I am not a father, to the point where Emma was even like, "You're holding the baby. You look like come on. You need to stand up straight. You look so weird holding the child. Like you don't know what you're doing." And it's true, I didn't. So
I did child holding lessons.
I would have been. I mean, thank God for Emma on this one.
I met my son, and he's like, "Hi." I'm like, "Take him." I'm like, "Hold him." I'm like, "You're like."
I was like, "Oh, okay."
Well, that was wonderful. It was a wonderful performance, Emma. It really was. I mean, I was wondering, and sort of going off the back of that, did you get quite attached to the young baby actors that you use? Because it's not like an adult actor. You can WhatsApp after, you can arrange a drink or a catch up, but you had to both form this really close parental bond, and then it's like, right, see you later then.
I would say I was very attached to Iona, who actually, well, Liam, our baby, was actually played by a girl, Iona, and she was the producer's daughter. And it was funny because when I got there, I was like, "So do we have twins, triplets? Like how many babies to rotate between?" They're like, "We have one, and she has 2 naps a day, so get ready." And we were like, "Okay." But no, I mean, she was just the sweetest, and she was so cute, and she was absolutely perfect. And I would say I was attached to her and attached to John. But we all spent so much time together because the last few things I've worked on have been like really ensemble casts. And this was like, me and John and the baby, or me and the baby. And then we were so lucky to have Michael Shannon come in for a couple of days, but it was really just every day in the same location with the same few people. And so it really was such a like close group of people. I mean, the director, Spencer Squire, who's absolutely amazing. We all just became very close and like trusting. And I think to kind of do something like this, you kind of have to just be like, okay, I'm like going to dig in and just kind of, bond with everyone and not, be not be present.
No, yeah, I could speak to you for hours about Michael Shannon as well. What a wonderful, wonderful actor he is. But John, I was going to ask you as my final question. Just talking of great sort of casts, I wanted to ask you quickly about Short Term 12, because the success off the back of that small, brilliant little indie is astonishing. I mean, yourself, obviously Brie Larson, Caitlin Dever, Rami Malek, Lakeith Stanfield. At the time, there was a lot of newcomers in that, and they've all gone. I mean, there's Oscar nominations in that, of sort of multiple in that pack. Did you know when you were making it, it had this special? It was a special collective. Could you tell you were amongst some really talented folk?
100%. Yeah, that was a script where I was about 30 some pages into it, and I was already in tears. And screenplays tend to be rather like sometimes kind of clinical documents because they are technical. They're not always super emotional, and the fact that it had me in tears so early on, I remember calling my agent and saying, I have to do this. I want to do it so bad. And then I got there, and you're working with these amazing actors. I mean, you're absolutely right. Now Brie has an Oscar, Rami has an Oscar, Keith Stanfield has an Oscar nomination, Caitlin Dever, I believe, has like SAG and Golden Globe nominations. It's just been kind of incredible to watch everybody take off. But yeah, that was a really special one. And I remember knowing it. I didn't know that it was going to become this kind of, kind of training ground for this next wave of Hollywood elite. But I certainly knew I was, in really good company on that one.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, thank you so much for your time today, guys. Much appreciated. And best luck with the release of the movie. Well, cheers.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys.
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yeah.
Nice.
Hey!